Hi everyone, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Today I'd like to talk about how I help people in my Body, Mind, and Soul program. I want to talk about the body today. And today's topic is on gluten. And so many people, have heard about people going gluten-free, and maybe some people think that it's a fad and it's just, one more thing that people are trying. And I'm here to let you know that gluten is a problem for a big portion of our population. First, I want to just talk about, what is gluten? And gluten is a general name for the proteins that are found in wheat, barley, farro, spelt, and of course, you're familiar with it in pastas and breads. But it's in a lot of products, food products as well as skincare products. And why is it a problem? Well, the quality of our food has really declined in the last 30, 40, 50 years. For gluten, they've added enormous amount of gluten now in products compared to the 1950s. So the bread that you ate or your family ate back in the 1950s is it's a lot different now. It has an enormous amount more gluten in it. And then there's also, compared to the 50s, 60s, and even some of the 1970s, there's a ton of toxins now sprayed on our food products. And also then there is the GMO products, seeds. And the toxins are not only sprayed on the crops, but they're also then included in the finished product of our food. So it really is an issue now compared to decades ago. And you can be, of course, there's celiac disease, which some people never know that they have until they start to have a health issue in their 40s and 50s. It may start to appear, and then they find out that they have celiac disease, which is really a tough disease, but manageable. But many people have a gluten insensitivity or intolerance. Back in 2017, I began having enormous health issues. I was having horrible pain to the point that I was on the couch almost in tears every day. I was having horrible joint pain. I was 38 pounds overweight, which most of my life I was never overweight. I was always on the very thin side. I could not get rid of the weight no matter what I did. I've always been a fairly healthy eater. And then when perimenopause hit in my 40s, things began to change. So my body started to let me know that there were issues. Long story short, I went to many healthcare practitioners to try and figure out what was happening with me in my body. I went to many specialists, and really most of them just tried to put me on medication. They were all doing their jobs. They were all doing what they were taught. However, none of it was getting to the root cause of what was happening. So I decided to start my research, do my research, do my education, educate myself. And I did go on a 30-day nutritional reset, which included going gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, sugar, all of the things that really do affect your body. And I started to feel different within 30 days. I dropped 5 pounds, which for a lot of people that seems like that's typical of most diets. I don't believe in dieting. What it started to do was change the way my body was now reacting to the foods I was eating, or not reacting to the foods I was eating. My joint pain started to go away. And at the time, I was on a steroid that a rheumatologist put me on to reduce the inflammation. But it was when I actually found out what was triggering the inflammation that the inflammation started to reduce. And I was able to get off that medication, as well as another one that was prescribed, but I really wasn't taking. I was also taking a lot of Tylenol at the time, which is really not that great for you, and neither are the other painkiller type products. So again, long story short, I am now off of all medications, all over the counter medications, and I have been gluten-free since probably 2017. I am now down 38 pounds and no longer cry every afternoon. So it really did start to help to heal my gut and reduce the inflammation in my body and help to correct what was going on in my body. Because of the steroids I was on, I believe that the steroid threw a big wrench into my thyroid. My thyroid also became inflamed and caused a bunch of other issues. So that is now under control also because of the nutrition that I am now feeding my body and helping my body to heal itself, which your body is very capable of doing. So it's not just a digestive issue that you may be feeling. I mean, when I went to my rheumatologist, the first question was, well, do you have digestive upset? I did not. I never had digestive upset. I never had digestive issues. What I had was systemic inflammation. So gluten can present itself in all sorts of ways. It can, of course, cause constipation, diarrhea, all of the digestive issues, but it also can trigger autoimmune diseases and disorders. It can trigger rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, and it can also cause and trigger brain issues, behavioral issues in you and or your children. And it can also even trigger things like schizophrenia. So it's a really important thing to look at. There has been an increase, I think, of like 400% in celiac disease since the 1950s. So going back to how gluten has changed over the decades and why it is creating these issues today in our population. And in my Body, Mind, and Soul program, this is something that we do take a look at if your body is something that you want to work on. And I did, in my training, I did work and take classes and certifications with MDs, PhDs, nutritionists, really brilliant people in functional medicine, and really did a lot of research and education around health and wellness. So it's part of what I help my clients with, and it's really critical to have your body in great shape and your mind and your soul, and it's a whole process, right? We're a whole being. So I like to work on those areas to help you to have and live a better life. So if you decide to go gluten-free, the best thing to do is try it for at least a month, but up to 3 months is really when you start to see and feel the difference. Our body takes its time, and it knows when it needs to start to heal, and it takes time to heal. It takes time to heal a leaky gut. It takes time to start to feel better. For me, I did start to feel better within 3 weeks. And now, of course, there's a huge difference in the way I feel. Remember the gluten-free products, just because they're gluten-free doesn't mean that they're great for you. There are a lot of really great gluten-free products out there, and if anyone has any questions, I can certainly help lead you that way. But there are still a lot of junk food gluten-free products, right? I mean, just because it's gluten-free, you shouldn't be eating cakes and cookies and breads and pastas every single day. They're still loaded with sugar, and they're still inflammatory type products. So you have to be careful with that. The other thing I just wanted to say is, about 30% of the population can have the gene for celiac, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily are going to have it. When I was tested, there's only a portion of the test that shows that I was positive for it. It doesn't mean I have celiac. I do not, but I certainly have an intolerance. And there are people, like I said, there's a spectrum, right? You can be a little sensitive, you can be a lot sensitive, or you can have celiac. So it's really a great idea to talk to your healthcare practitioner, and there are tests out there to see where you are on the spectrum. And hopefully they understand that. So again, gluten can be in everything. It can be in your food. It can be in your skincare products, which is why I like to live really clean And I'm very careful about the skincare products that I use, and which is why I love the company Arbonne, because their products are gluten-free and they're really healthy products. And I'm just letting you know that so you're aware of it. In January, I'll be doing my jump start to healthy living. I've done it a few times over the past couple years, where you get a 30-day program of learning how to go do kind of an elimination diet. Does it mean that you're going to be starving? No. Does it mean that you're going to be suffering? No. It means that you're just going to be changing some of the things that you eat and the way that you eat. And it comes with great recipes and a bunch of ways to really help to heal and nourish your body in many, many, many ways. So so that's it for today. And if you have any questions, you can certainly private message me or email me at donna@forhealinghooves.com, or go to my website and sign up for my newsletter. But I'm here to help, and I'm here to answer any questions, and I hope that you got something out of today's Wellness Wednesday. Okay, thanks so much, everybody.